welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for round number 2 of the MEA RSR Cup challenge. Well, it's just the RSR Cup, no challenge, but it is a challenge for the drivers. Here at Monza today is round number 2. I'm SSR Mayhem. Some of you know me as Steve. Welcome as we get ready for 32 laps of racing action. 19 drivers made the show. However, breaking news, ESV Barcode, the pole sitter for tonight, last week's runner-up to RZM Sean, will not make the show tonight. He will round out the 20th points in the standings after the race here. So tough break for him, but 3 races to go following to tonight's race. So still some opportunity, but a big blow in his championship points as he is not with us here tonight. Let's get ready for the starting lineups here at Monza. And starting on the front row would have been ESV Barcode, but it's not no more. RZM Sean, last week's race winner, hard charger, and driver of the day award winner, will be on the pole. Alongside him is rival competitor ESV Bobberts. In a series back in the GT Championship Series, they went head-to-head for the entire series, but RZM Sean came out on top. Kim Bobberts rebound after finishing 3rd last week at Nürburgring. In the second row, first time race this season, Remix. He's back in racing action here in MEA. He'll start in the 3rd position alongside Adler Girl from Inertia Garage. She'll be in the 4th starting spot here tonight. In the 5th position, it's going to be Hurricane alongside AMS Delete. Hurricane had a great run last week. Had a little bit of a rough start, but rebounded nicely. AMS Delete looking to have a little bit of a race as he was pretty much alone all last week. In the 7th spot, it's Trans Autumn. Autumn back with us once again. Glad to have her. Had a great first round back at Nürburgring. Can't she go 2 for 2 top 10s? Well, tonight she starts in a very good spot in that 7th spot. Behind her is Diamond Man 2014. He'll start in that 8th position. In the 9th spot, it's going to be SSR Red Eagle. He was involved in some stuff last week, had a really unfortunate break, but rebounded nicely as he'll start inside the top 10. Behind him, SMX Savitar started early in the pits last week, was able to rebound quite a bit. Can he have a good start here tonight as he starts in the top 10? Outside the top 10, first starting spot, FSM Gray has been improving week after week and series after series. I believe this is his 2nd series here in MEA, so we can say he's definitely improved since his first time out. ARC Samuel, we saw him back in the V8 Championship Series, the V8 Supercars Series, when we did our Asia Pacific region. He'll start in the 12th spot. ARC Samuel, ladies and gentlemen. In the 13th spot, it would have been Ronaldo. Oh, he is here as he'll start in the 13th spot. Rookie competitor, first time ever at MEA, in his 2nd race of all time. He'll have RZX JJ Reds in that 14th spot. SMX Ghost I can Ghost rebound after a tough first week. I'm sure he can, but he'll definitely be looking to have a better result than last week. JRFE Blade will start in the 16th spot. Let's get him down there. And then rounding out the field will be VLR Effect. Had a dirty time in qualifying, so he'll start at the back of the field tonight. He'll have to deal with Riddle U and Flag 4199 in the 18th and 19th spot. It looks like VNT Rosenquist will not be with us tonight as they had not registered the call. So, it looks like we're ready to go. As all the drivers, I'm not ready. There we go. And once we get everybody readied up, we will get started here at Monza. Stay tuned. And just like that, looks like we are ready to go. All the drivers are readied up. Let's get them on the grid and let's get back to some racing action here at MEA. 19 drivers start the field here tonight. They'll have one pace lap, so 31 exact laps in the race. I'm excited for this one. Last week's race was no disappointment. ESV Barcode had a huge lead at Nürburgring, but once the rain came out and the downpour began, RZM Sean was able to get away from Raxa Pudim, who's not with us tonight as well, and he was able to secure victory late after making a late pass over Barcode. Now tonight, no Barcode. Barcode will get points, but not the best of points after qualifying, and not here tonight. So RZM Sean able to make his lead even bigger going into round number 3 next week. But this man behind him, ESV Bobberts, got to talk to him before tonight's race, or today's race, I'm sorry. He said he thinks he has the pace to challenge Sean. He thinks there's a great opportunity here today to get some good, valuable points. A lot of cars on track. You don't want to get mixed up in some problems. Can these drivers go head-to-head here tonight? But let's not forget Remix right behind him in the 3rd spot, and Adler Girl as well. Adler Girl did not have a great qualifying to her standards in a car that she is so successful with ever since Forza 7 has come out. Can she be a factor tonight? Can Remix continue that hot streak of good qualifying? Can it turn over into the race? Hurricane, can he be up there in the mix? That top 5 is really tight right now. Delete and Autumn, could they be dark horses in this? We'll be finding out. We'll stay on board with Bobberts to start this race. Thank you all once again for tuning in. If this is your first time here, welcome to the MEA Twitch channel, where here, this is our only channel of streaming any live MEA event. And today, wherever you are in the world, is the 2nd round of the MEA RSR Cup. 19 drivers on track. The Porsche RSR out there in all its glory. Who will tame Monza? This week it's all nice skies, great conditions for racing, so we will not have weather play a factor. But what did the drivers do up to this point? What did the drivers do in practice? How did they tune their cars? Did they have somebody else tune their cars? Are they running stock? I doubt anyone's doing that. But who's got that car dialed in? Qualifying was just in the same conditions, so if you were happy with qualifying, you probably changed nothing. If you weren't happy with your qualifying, you probably changed something. 19 drivers, ladies and gentlemen, only 3 more rounds to go following here at Monza. Who takes the gold? Can Bobberts capitalize on an opportunity to fight for a championship here tonight? Or will Sean extend his lead even more? It's Sean, it's Bobberts. There's also 17 other hungry drivers and a chicane to start us out on the beginning of the race. It's Monza here at MEA's Legal Green Flag Racing. And a little bit of pile up in the back, nothing crazy. It looks like they got nose to tail on each other, but everybody getting through that first section okay. RZM Sean, your race leader, with ESV Bobberts in the 2nd spot. Meanwhile, Adler Girl putting all the pressure on Remix right now for that 3rd spot. And Hurricane overshot the corner just a little bit. And Adler Girl possibly with damage there. No damage to the German driver, but very unfortunate. It cost her just a little bit, but she's back on the prowl. And look at Remix. He's up there right now battling for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd spot. And Bobberts putting all the pressure on Sean right now for the race lead. Sean still maintaining that first spot. And if anybody's wondering about Hurricane, I don't know if his paint loaded in. It wasn't loaded at first. It looks like it's loaded in now. Sometimes Fordo's takes its sweet old time. And just so anyone knows, if you hear something rattling in my voice or my mouth tonight, I have a cough drop and I'm a little under the weather. Nothing major, but definitely feeling it. Let's go back there. I see Autumn's challenging for that 6th spot with Diamond Man 2014. Autumn actually lost another position. She lost 2 positions. She drops back to the 9th spot now. So Autumn not getting in a groove there. Going to lap number 2. No damage for the female driver, as she's got a man on a mission, SMX Savitar. He started a few positions back, I do believe, so he's moving up. FSM Gray going side by side back there. SSR Red Eagle, he's moved up to the 8th spot. 1 position better than he started. Didn't have a great race last week. You can see Hurricane's falling back to the 7th spot. Actually, Hurricane's paint scheme never loaded in, so that's unfortunate. So a little bit of a funny moment. When that whole moment happened, ladies and gentlemen, where Hurricane hit the back of Adler Girl, I lost the cough drop in my mouth and I was trying to juggle it and catch it, and unfortunately it's somewhere missed in the back behind my TV stand. So got to get that after the race, but I think I got to do a better job tucking it behind my my cheek, as we watch Autumn now try to challenge Red Eagle for that 8th spot. Hurricane back on the prowl right behind AMS to lead. And Red Eagle possibly going to have to play some defense here, as Autumn's finally caught up to one of her rivals. The lead covers that inside. Diamond Man currently in front of the lead, creating a traffic jam right there going into the chicane. Let's hop back up. Let's check out the race leader, RZM Sean. How is that doing right now? It looks like he's got a little bit of ways from ESV Bobbers and has. Bobbers losing ground, Remix as well. It looks like Adler Girl, she's caught up to Remix again, so Adler Girl back on the prowl. And it looks like Adler Girl's got some speed tonight. Any of you Adler Girl fans out there on the prowl and ready to race? Last week had made a little slip up on battling with ESV Bobbers when she was defending him. She got too wide and got loose, and Bobbers was able to get major advantage from that. Go through Ascari now. Looks like Adler might have had a little bit better of an advantage right there. So the missing cough drop was found. Wasn't too far away, as Adler Girl putting the pressure on Remix. Sean getting away from Bobbers. Not what you want to see from the ESV driver. Bobbers felt really good coming into this week. A lot of racing still to go though, so anything can happen and will happen. Looks like some issues, as Autumn did get by Red Eagle for that 8th spot. Let's look at the race map, see how it looks from our point of view. Looks like someone way in the back. Ronaldo. Let's check on him and make sure he's okay. Did he make a pit stop? Looks like he might have made a pit stop during the cycle. As Flag as well, losing a little ground. Hop back on with Remix right here, as he's playing defense right now with one of the other female competitors, Adler Girl, who's been fantastic all season long, and I know we've only talked about season, but when I mean season, I'm not talking about the series itself. What she's competed in this year, and she's been a force to reckon with when she's been on the racetrack. Right now, she's trying to get around Remix. It seems to be like really troubling her. It looks like she might have the pace to keep up with the front two drivers. Can she get by Remix? Because right now, Remix is doing a fantastic job on the defensive end. The gap between first and second right now is about 4.5 car lengths between RZM Sean and ESV Bobberts. For those that don't know, that just tuned in, ESV Barcode missed tonight's race due to some other obligation. So Barcode not only was runner-up last week, but will lose critical points here tonight, as the 19 drivers did make the show. Remix still playing defense. Adler Girl's got the pace. She's trying to find a way around him, still having trouble. Hurricane, on the other hand, back in about the 7th position, is still struggling to get by Delete and Diamond Man. Looks like Delete finally got by Diamond Man, but still struggling for Hurricane, as he has been pretty much doing an uphill battle after a little bit of a rough start to begin this race. Diamond Man in the middle of that 3-car pack right now. Again, Hurricane's car never did load in, so we know he has a paint. Unfortunately, Forza said no, at least from my point of view. AMS Delete in the top 5, struggled last week as he was all by himself at Nürburgring, in the midst of battle here tonight. But check out who's coming behind them, and she's finally regaining some pace. Autumn back on the prowl, and she's trying to get involved with this 3-car battle in front. About a lap and a half ago, she got by SSR Red Eagle. Autumn had one of the best qualifying performances this season. I know we've only had 2 races in, but had a really good qualifying, had some pace, so really eager to see what she can do if she can get in the midst of battle right now, as Hurricane putting the pressure on Diamond Man. Diamond Man goes to the outside, Hurricane to the inside. They're looking to go side by side off the edge. And Hurricane not able to get it done, but he stays door to door trying to get some side draft right there from Diamond Man, and Diamond Man closes him off. No, he doesn't. Can't close the door. Can Hurricane get to the inside and take position away? And he does. He gets over, but can... Oh, Diamond Man tried to pull something, but couldn't get it done. That brought Autumn into the mix now. So Hurricane able to finally get past Diamond Man. Let's go back up. And Adler Girl has taken over the 3rd spot from Remix. Adler Girl moving up 1 more spot again, and she's on the prowl. Two years ago, Adler Girl showed up to MEA as a rookie in the GT Championship Series in its 2nd season. Had a very good campaign that year, but was struggling to seal the deal. She was able to take the race win over Aerox Merc. Back at that time, that was Hydra. And also ESV Bobberts winning at Indianapolis. Can she do the same thing here today? A lot of work to go in, but there's a car into the infield. That's JRFB Blade with some trouble. And it looks like Blade might have some damage on the car. Let's go take a look and see what happened. He was in front of some of the other competitors. Looked like he had to make a pit stop, struggling out there. But if you know JRFE Blade, ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't back down from the challenge, and he never gives up. He'll be out there no matter what happens. So good to see him staying out of trouble, but also not getting involved in battle. Also, Autumn able to go to work now as she tries to battle with Diamond Man 2014 for the 7th spot. They go side by side down the straightaway. It's 3 wide down the straightaway. Diamond Man backs out. He gets into the draft of Hurricane. And Autumn has to lay off a little bit too. She didn't have the speed going into 1. With all that happening, SSR Red Eagle's down the mix as well. He's back into the fight almost. Autumn trying to work Diamond Man, but it looks like Hurricane's having some trouble. Meanwhile, in front of them, it's the lap down car. JRFE Blade, will he be a factor? And now lap traffic gets in way. JRFE Blade goes to the inside line. He's going to lay off on the gas just a little bit right there. Autumn looks to the inside as well. Not able to get the job done. As Blade not able to get fully out of all their way. Blade to the outside. Blade gets loose, almost clipping Autumn off the edge. And Blade just barely gets away from danger, but Autumn got away from some danger there as well as Blade goes back down to get out of the way of Red Eagle. That means Diamond Man and Hurricane was able to get away, but Red Eagle to the inside of Blade, and Blade goes off the track into the sand. And Autumn saves the car right there, but a man that started way in the back of the pack, that's VOR Effect, he started back there in about 17th, 18th spot. He's already moved his way up, battling to try to get into the top 10. And he's putting some work on SMX Savitar, who hasn't had the best year in MEA, but looking to have one of those good races here today, battling in the top 10 right now, but playing defense while Effect's trying to put the pressure on. And Effect now looks to the outside of Savitar, not the best place to get, but it gets to his inside and just gets him just a little bit on the quarter panel. Still side by side off the edge. And they're still side by side, Savitar not giving an inch. And Savitar putting the door to his door, letting him know, I don't appreciate the move he made on the last turn, but didn't create an accident. They're still moving forward, and Effect gets inside the top 10. Meanwhile, Autumn playing defense. It's SSR Eagle starting to play a little bit of a factor, but he was not able to get close enough there. I thought he was a little bit closer, maybe had a mistake. Let's hop on to the front of the pack as ESV Bobbert's now under fire. Adler Girl now trying to move up to that second place spot, and Adler Girl's got a rocket. Is she fast enough to get by Bars, and is she quick enough to get the Sean? A lot of racing to go, but these are critical passes for Adler Girl right now as she's putting the pressure on Bobberts. And Adler Girl easing her way as she gets away from Remix, who held her up for quite a bit in the beginning of this race. Sorry, I was muted, but inside the top 15 here, Ghost is trying to get in there and get by FSM Gray. If I was muted during that whole section, I was talking about the guys in the back, and I was JJ Rez was having a better race this week with Riddle U behind him. But back here in the 15th spot, we're seeing FSM Gray play defense against SMX Ghost I, and they're not too far behind ARC Samuel. And ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize, but Adler Girl was able to make the pass on ESV Bobberts. And she's in the second spot now, and she's going to try to hard charge for the lead. And Bobberts looks to the inside, but not able to make the pass. He's got Remix right behind him. Wonder if Bobberts has any type of damage internally. Looks like the car is fine. And Bobberts Now has to try to find that pace again and get by Adler and Adler Girl. And she's making some things happen here today. Sean's starting to get into some lap traffic. You see AMS the lead, not far behind. Adler Girl trying to maintain that second spot. Remix is starting to get closer into the mix now. Let's go and check on oh, that's not Sean. Let's go check on Sean, the race leader, as he was trying to get through some traffic. Looked like Blade held him up. Blade's now 3 laps down in this one. Blade having major trouble on track here today. Sean seems to be doing okay. Let's take a look at the race map, see where he's at. Not too much to deal with. Seems like the pack's pretty much still maintaining itself. So definitely good to see. It looks like there's a battle still between Ghost Eye and FSM Gray, who lost that 15 spot from Ghost. Still battling here for a top 15. Ghost able to get by Gray. And it looks like Effect inside the top 10 now, currently in the 9th place spot, trying to track down Autumn. And Autumn, she's still on the prowl, trying to get to Diamond Man, but doesn't look like they're close enough to battle. They're pretty evenly matched up to this point. Welcome to the stream, Crow. Glad to see everyone here today for round number 2 of the MEA RSR Cup here at Monza. Race leader RZM Sean still up front. Adler Girl went from 4th to 2nd so far in this race, just under halfway so far. Meanwhile, we are sitting on Diamond Man, who makes a pit stop. So Diamond Man goes into the pits. And we'll begin pit cycles here, it looks like soon. Adler Girl has gotten away from Bobberts and Remix, and she's on the prowl, ladies and gentlemen. Bobberts shows to have the fastest time so far, but he's currently under fire right now. Remix to the outside for the 3rd spot. Remix is going for gold here. Well, bronze technically, but he's going to try to get past one of the best as they go into this chicane, but Bobberts outbreaks Remix. Remix has to cut in just a little bit to avoid chaos, and Bobberts able to fend off the 3rd spot. And this is probably what you want to see if you're Adler Girl right now, as Sean still leading this thing, dealing with traffic. That's Ronaldo, and he'll go down 1 lap for the first time today. And Sean still has a nice, comfortable, and healthy lead, but Adler Girl is not giving up, and she's in the fight. She's only about 900 foot behind. About 900 feet behind. And it's good to see, and we'll see how she deals with lap traffic, as Sean had no problem getting by Ronaldo. For those that love to see lap times, the lap times are now on the screen. You can check them out here, as Adler Girl sets a 2:10 3/10 quicker time just now on that lap than Sean did. And Adler Girl's moving, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about Sean's performance last week when he had to track down ESV Barcode. Could Adler do it here today? That would be huge. And Adler is on a mission, ladies and gentlemen. She is on a mission as Bobbers and Remix now dealing with the lap traffic as well, still battling for the 3rd and 4th spot. Ronaldo Pina right in front of them. And this is not what Bobbers wanted to see. Worst section of the track to try to get by him. And he'll get out of their way. Yeah, that's what you have to expect from the lap cars. They're gonna get out of the way, but you gotta be patient when you're up front. You can't just take risks to try to get around these lap cars and think that, hey, it's time to go. Pick and choose where you need to make it happen. Be patient with the driver in front. As Hurricane is also now tracking down AMS Delete for that 5th spot. Getting by some lap traffic of JRFE Blade. Watched Blade go way off the track earlier right here. Good to see that he was able to hold that this time. And he is currently 3 laps down. VLR effect starting to close in on Autumn. Autumn doing a great job here today. Currently inside the top 10, not battling for a top 10, inside the top 10. Basically where she qualified, but she's been in the mix of battle and doing a really good job. We're gonna put the loop data back to its normal self. Take one last look at the top of your screen. It looks like Hurricane dealing with Ronaldo as well right there. Adler still fastest on track. She was 3/10 quicker that lap. Sean still with a healthy lead, but Adler Girl's putting the rubber down, and Bobbers has finally gotten away from Remix. And what can we say about Remix? I mean, Remix came into this week ready to go. 4th fastest time in qualifying, currently 4th in the race. Wasn't expecting to stay up front in the midst of things. Felt like he was going to be a little bit slower with race pace. First race back in a long time. And he's doing a fantastic job. But it's also a car that he truly loves, just like Adler Girl. He's a lover of the RSR. And it shows. And when you love a specific car, it doesn't matter what you do, you always are a very competitive driver. Whoa, but he gets loose going through a Ascari, but hangs on to it. JJ Reds, let's go back on JJ here. He's hanging out by himself. Go back a little further. ARC Samuel, still doing his thing. Now Diamond Man is back in 16th. For anyone that is a Diamond Man follower, a fan, he did make an earlier pit stop than the majority of the field did. So Diamond Man made a way earlier pit stop. And we still haven't seen anybody make pit stops yet. Now there's a couple in the pits right now. As we sit with Diamond Man, Diamond's catching up to this battle for 14th and 15th right now between FSM Gray challenging SMX Ghost Eye. Let's see how the pit cycle looks from Diamond Man's point of view. So we hop on board with him for a brief second. And it looks like Ghost has made his pit stop as well. So we're seeing the pits, the cycling happen. And a couple of those cars that pitted a little bit ago, they're coming out now. Looks like Autumn being one of them. She gets behind Gray. Gray's not going to challenge her too much, but almost gets to the door, or her panel, her quarter panel right there. Hurricane as well made a pit stop. So we're starting to see the pit cycle begin. Let's hop on with Adler real quick here. As she's on a mission right now. A woman on a mission. See if these leaders start making pit stops. And if Adler Girl didn't have that it wasn't a super rough start, but she didn't have to really fight that much at the beginning. It could have gotten by both Remix and Bobberts early. I wonder what this race might look like right now. She's only about three and a half seconds behind the race leader as Sean going through traffic. It looks like he's getting through lap traffic. And that was flag 41.99, his first time this season here. Adler Girl's going to be the next one to go around. And, oh, flag goes into the sand. And flag re-entering the racetrack. It looks like everything's going to be okay there. So, looks like someone's in the pits. Is that Red Eagle? Let's see if it's Red Eagle. It is Red Eagle. And it looks like a battle for 14th is beginning right here. Diamond Man able to get by FSM Gray. But how about this though, ladies and gentlemen? Diamond Man pitted before Autumn was in front of her, or before she was in front of him. So now Autumn's actually gained a position during the pit cycling, and Diamond Man with a little bit worn out tire. Now I know that Forza doesn't really make that a huge big difference in a race, but she's out there in front of him right now. As ARC Samuel having some problems with Autumn trying to challenge from behind. It looks like Autumn wasn't ready for that braking from Samuel. Samuel out there just doing the best he can in his first time this season here in the RSR Cup. Adler Girls gained a 10th on Sean with about less than half a race to go. Plenty of time for slip-ups and advantages to happen. If you're on the stream and you can chat in the chat box, let us know who you want to see on track for a moment. There's going to be a moment in this race where we go through the field, but if you'd like to see where your driver is, Samuel gets close to his car and into the sand. And Autumn avoids chaos right there. Good job avoiding that, and a good job by the driver in front of Samuel for not overcorrecting the car. He was able to hang on just enough to where it hit the sand, but didn't create a bigger situation than what it could have been. So good job by both drivers, as it looks like we're seeing a lot of pit cycling happen. And one guy we know that'll stay out as far as he can is SMX Savitar. Savitar's not the type of guy that he pits when the leaders pit or when everyone else pits. He's going to push that car to his max. He's going to take that fuel mileage and he's going to get to that lowest percentage possible. He's going to wear those tires out. We've seen it from him time and time again, and I wouldn't expect anything different. So we might see him take the lead. I don't know how far behind he is exactly, but there's a good chance he'll stay out as far as he can go. And Sean, still your race leaders. We hop on board with Sean. You see Adler not so far behind. See someone in the chat racing on the same track on a different game. Sean will stay out on the track, and I believe Adler Girl will do the same. She will. We'll pull up those lap times again for everyone so you guys can take a look. And Adler Girl still showing the pace right now on Sean. And Bobberts as well. Bobberts has gotten a little bit better here in the midsection of the race, starting to find a little pace here. Now, I wonder if any of these leaders are going to try to take the advantage of having less fuel in the car, get that gas early so that time doesn't take as long in the pit cycle. If I was Adler Girl, if I was Bobberts, I'd make my pit early. I'd make Sean go as far as he can, because the longer he stays out, the more fuel he'll use, the longer he'll be in pit road. So could strategy take a little factor? Could that give Adler Girl and Bobberts an opportunity to gain a little bit of that ground up through pitting, especially the way that they're driving right now? They're doing a phenomenal job. Bobberts has rebounded really, really nicely. So we'll see here. Bobberts did set the fastest lap of 45.9, so if Bobberts was drinking before the race here today, he's finally getting a little bit cleared up in the noggin. He ended up putting down some sweet laps, but Allergirl still putting down the low 46s. Sean not putting down the low times at all just yet, and it seems like Aller's been outpacing him for the majority of the last about 10 laps. But she's going to make a pit stop here. I think Bobberts was staying high. He is. He's going to take over that spot from her. And Sean stayed out. So pitting now is Allergirl, and Allergirl has an opportunity here. If she can get in some clean air and these two stay out for quite some time, as she comes out of the pits now, let's pull up the map here. I don't want her damage. Let's pull up the map here. There's a lot of space, and I believe that's Savitar coming around the corner. And it is, and I said he would, but he's going to clear her pretty well. And Allergirl has no worries from behind, and all in front of her, just plenty of space to get some good laps in here. Meanwhile, Sean's catching up to a rear field battle. Well, not so much rear field battle, but catching up some lap cars that aren't too far apart from one another. Just Monza things. Sean, really nice through that section right there. Sean's doing a really, really good job maintaining pace, though. Let's see what Sean does here. Does he make a pit stop? Does he stay out? And Sean's going into the pits. What will Bobberts do? Will Bobberts stay out for a little longer? So Sean not going to let the fuel mileage play a factor, and Bobberts will stay out on the racetrack and take over the race lead. Meanwhile, Savitar, who's inside the top 5 right now, will still have to make one more stop. Or should they make his only stop. Still within good distance of Allergirl, so we'll see what Savitar does here. And Savitar comes around the final corner. Will he stay out? He does. He will stay out. Will he get in front of Sean, though? I think that's going to be close. I hear Sean coming out now. Yeah, Sean came out now, and will he clear Sean? This is a big moment, and he does! Now will Savitar play a factor with Sean and Allergirl? Find out right now, as Sean just got out of the pits, and unfortunately for him, he's got to deal with Savitar, and Savitar doesn't have to get out of the way. He's not a lap down driver. He's maintaining pace. He can do all the battling he wants. Sean didn't get up the speed, though, right away, so we're going to see what happens here, because this could really help out Allergirl, who's been tracking Sean down slowly but surely. You see her in the mist right there. Savitar is a very consistent driver. He might not be the fastest on track right now, but he stays consistent. He stays out of the way. Right now, it's a good opportunity for him to see what he's made of with some of the fastest drivers up front. Sean's probably thinking, why now? Why does this happen at this moment? Going through Ascari. Savitar still stays in front of Sean. Allergirl closing in. You see her in the background. And I'm reading the chat, and it's rather enticing. JRFE Blade out of the race. The only driver of the 19 car field not in it no more. So tough break for Blade. Tough day for him. Just wasn't where he needed to be. But Sean now gets in the second spot, and Savitar finally goes in pit road. And now I think that helped out Allergirl just a little bit. We'll see here. Glad to have you, Nathan. Welcome to the stream. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, follow, whatever you need to do. Stay with us because we run events all year long here at MEA right now. Roberts has stayed out on the racetrack. I'm surprised he's staying out as long as he is. If anybody listened to me about a few laps ago, he's going to be in pit road a lot longer than Sean and Allergirl is. So right now, he's trying to gain time on these two. But if he doesn't gain time, he's going to lose time when he gets in the pit road because it's going to take him longer to get out because it's going to take more time to put fuel in the car. Let's see what Roberts does here, though. He's getting up to some lap traffic, some competitors in 15th and 16th in the back of the pack. In a moment here, we're going to go through the field. And Roberts coming around the edge now. Will he stay out for another lap? He does not. So Roberts will go into the pits. We'll see if he got any sort of advantage from that. Very impressed to see Roberts putting down the fastest time of the race. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. So the main rules is, I'm just reading the chat here. Sean takes the race lead away from Roberts. Let's hop on with Allergirl real quick to see the gap between her and Roberts. But there's no friction assist allowed and collision mode off, and basically everybody can do what they want. So there's no strict limitations, but it creates a better racing field overall. And Roberts didn't really gain anything from that. Roberts speeding in the pits, of course. All right, let's go through the field, however, at this time. It's a good time to do it. RZM Sean, currently a race leader after the green flag pit cycling. Out front, but he's got a hard charger from behind, and that's Allergirl IG, as she's been a rocket throughout this race, and she's closing the gap. But does she have enough time to get there? Sean's a very consistent driver, so it's going to be tough for him. ESV Roberts, currently third in the point standings, needed today to be his day to try to get in front of Sean, but has done the opposite. Currently only one position back from where he started in the third spot. However, a lot of work still to do as he tries to track down the leaders in front. Meanwhile, first timer this season, Remix, currently running in the fourth spot just like he qualified, battled himself into the top three with Allergirl and Roberts, but has lost ground in about the last 10 laps of the race. Currently still sitting in the fourth spot. Behind him, it's AMS Delete. Delete inside the top five, currently still in front of Hurricane in that sixth position. Hurricane pretty much doing what he did last week, having a troubling start, but trying to fight his way back into the top five. Last week was able to do it within the last quarter of the race. Currently trying to track down Delete right now. As Hurricane right behind him, his paint never loaded in. That's a Forza thing. We know he has a paint, so he won't be penalized for any reason, but currently trying to track down the fifth place driver. Behind him, it's Trans Autumn. She's currently in the seventh spot, been battling, and has finally gotten by Diamond Man during the pit cycle, where she's still running in the seventh spot, but Diamond Man 2014 still trying to charge to get back up there to battle for that seventh place spot. Behind them, VLR Effect. He started back in about the 17th, 18th position. I don't remember exactly. I believe it was 18th where he had started in this race. Currently got himself into the top 10 and trying to find a way to get to Diamond Man and Autumn, but a lot of racing still to go. He's not too far away as you see them in the front of the screen. So can Effect get up there, battle for position to get a couple more spots? We'll see here soon as SSR Red Eagle, currently running the 10th spot, was in some battles early on, but has seen nothing since. Currently running that 10th place spot. SMX Saboteur, the band behind him, trying to track him down, stayed out as long as he could on the track, sitting at 11th spot. RZXJJ Reds doing a little bit better than last week, but still having nobody to run against. But that's okay, because right now he got by flag 4199. Who's currently a lap down. Behind him is Riddle U in the 13th spot. Riddle U back in action, wasn't able to make last week's race, make qualifying. Currently running in the 13th spot. I jumped the guy. Let's go up to SMX Ghost I. Ghost currently running in the 14th position, having a better race than last week. Struggled a lot at Nürburgring, but is trying to find a way to get up to FSM Gray, or I'm sorry, to get up to that next spot with FSM Gray behind him in the 15th spot, who is battling with ARC Samuel. Samuel has been kind of going backwards since about the halfway point of the race. Hasn't seen a whole lot of action since the battle with FSM Gray, and he's in 16th. 17th spot, we just saw him a little bit ago. That's flag 4199. First time here, first time, I believe, in MEA. I could be wrong. I'm sure, I don't think it's his first time, but he doesn't show very often, so it's good to see him here in that 17th spot. And rounding out the field in the 18th position, that's Ronaldo Pena, as he's just trying to get some experience and get some laps in, doing a good job here today, staying out of trouble. And then rounding out the field would have been JRFE Blade. He was about 3 laps down when he butted out of the race, just had a really rough race, so unfortunate for him, as race leader RZM Sean still maintains a really good gap, about 1,000th of a second faster than Adler Girl the previous lap. So that's the field. Let's check on some battles, but I don't think there are any battles right now. So Bobberts has lost a lot of ground, and then you gotta wonder if that had to do with staying out longer, not being able to gain any real time on Adler or Sean, and taking more time in the pits due to wasting a little bit more gas than everybody else. And I'm just now looking at the chat. Actually, Katie. All right, so if you want to go through history, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Katie Cat was the first female to ever win in MEA history in the first season of the MEA NASCAR Cup Series. Did win one of those road course races and has won a couple of road course races and a couple of GT series as well. Adler Girl would have been the second female to ever do it in Season 2 of the MEA GT Championship Series, as we ride along with her, beating out Aerox Merck, who was Hydra at that time, and also ESV Bobberts at Indianapolis. And then Fem Racer would have been the third. Actually, no, I believe SSR Nicole would have been the second or third. But we've had 4 females all time win at MEA, with Miss Katie Cat being the first and Adler Girl being the second. So, but what we're witnessing is possibly Adler Girl tracking down Sean here to battle for the race lead. She's been really quick all race long. She's only got 6 more laps to go, so a mistake by Sean would really help her at this point. But you don't expect that from somebody like Sean, who's a very good driver and has been improving time after time after time. I mean, he showed it last week at Nürburgring, tracking down Barcode when it's a major downpour. Right now, Adler Girl putting on one heck of a performance here today, as she struggled to get by Remix and Bobberts, but she showed that she had the pace. Sean just doesn't want to get into any real problems here. He doesn't have anybody to worry about. There's about 4 cars that could be a factor by the end of this race if he can get to them. That's the question, though. If you're Adler Girl, you're probably hoping for that to happen. As 5th place driver AMS Delete now playing defense, ladies and gentlemen, from Hurricane. We talked about this a little bit ago. Hurricane back on the prowl, looking to the inside. AMS Delete trying to maintain that 5th place spot. And he closes the door on Hurricane for the position. So battle on track inside the top 5 right now. Hurricane trying to make something happen on Delete. And all right, so after reading the chat a little bit there and getting another cough drop in my mouth, we're still battling here for the 5th place spot. Delete and Hurricane, as you saw, Remix clip the sand a little bit, currently in front of both of them. And Remix has done a really good job maintaining his pace. Can Delete hold off Hurricane for just 5 more laps 5 more miserable, aching laps that he probably doesn't want to deal with right now. You know, it sucks for a driver to be by themselves in a race, but when you want to deal with other drivers, it's not at the end of the race when it matters most, for at least for most drivers. Some drivers probably really enjoys that challenge. I think if I'm delete right now, I'm thinking, why of all times are you now challenging me for position? So I was just taking a look at the lap times. Sorry if I was muted. And delete, giving himself a little room here. Still a 10th quicker that last lap. Let's hop on with her right now as those two kind of get a little distant from one another again. Sean still maintains a healthy lead. Roberts, however, looks like he's gained a little. I don't know. I can't be for sure, but we talked about lap traffic becoming a factor. Looks like we got 2 cars here with Ghost dealing with traffic, Gray's dealing with traffic, and then you got Samuel. So flag. So he's got about 5 drivers to possibly deal with these last few laps. Could they play a factor to this race? Probably. You know, the saying, great moments happen here. Well, at MEA, we got great moments. Sean just... I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I'm also reading the chat. Like, just some of the things that are discussed are funny, but here we go. Sean's now getting closer to these lap cars. These slower traffic, I should say. Only a few laps to go, and Sean has a nice lead right now. Traffic possibly could play a factor. Let's hop back on the delete. Still playing defense on Hurricane right now for the 5th and 6th spot with only a couple laps to go. This 5th place battle is where it's at right now. Sean going for his 2nd win on the season. So to clear up the Adler Girl car win, she actually won in a Jaguar, I do believe. No, you're right, actually, CJ. She won. So, yeah, so going back to the female winners in MEA, Adler Girl won in the RSR. I do remember that now. She was driving the RSR at that time. Different paint scheme, of course, but definitely won in the RSR. And the other two drivers had the Mercedes and the Jag on track, so that would be correct. I don't think Markey was racing that race. But the lead still playing good defense on Hurricane right now. He tries to get to the outside, just nudges the car. It forces him to get a little loose. I think he was trying to make a run to the outside, just couldn't get the job done. They're catching up to Remix. I don't know if anyone knows this, but as they're battling, they're getting faster. And as they're getting faster, Remix is becoming a closer figure. I pull up the race map. Sean's in traffic though. Let's see how Sean deals with the traffic. This could play a factor here. We got around 1. Adler's dealing with traffic. We got right by Samuel, no problem. Bobberts and Aerox Merck finished second and third in that race, TJ, just to answer that question. Sean got by Ronaldo. Traffic isn't too big of a factor here. They're not really close enough to be a problem, but depending on where he catches them could be. "17 out of the 19 drivers remain on the racetrack." Sean getting the white flag this time. Can he just have a clean final lap, or will traffic be a factor here? Sean. Adler Girl throws it to the inside of Ronaldo. What a big pass by Adler Girl on lap traffic. But Sean has no problems with flag, and I think that'll be it for the storybook right there for today's race. But Sean still has to maintain the rest of this lap. For those that are watching, post-race interviews coming up next. We'll speak to the top 5 drivers. Some of them won't be able to actually speak, but we'll send them some interview questions and try to get their thoughts onto today's race. Sean with just a couple of turns to go. And just like that, after a fantastic performance in week number 1, RZM Sean will take round number 2 here at Monza and extend his points lead. But what a drive by Adler Girl today. She'll bring home second. Great battles between her, Bobberts, and Bobberts says he's frustrated. He'll finish third across the line, but Remix will finish 4th. AMS the lead is gonna hang on. Must have had a nice little battle with Hurricane. He'll finish 6th. 7th, fantastic performance by Autumn today. She'll bring it home 7th. 8th will be Diamond Man 2014. He's also going to be silly. VLR Effect will bring that home 9th. He will bring it home silly too. 10th will be SSR Red Eagle. And Eagle says, I'm just going to do it the normal way. JJ Reds with the 11th place finish today. A good race, just outside the top 10. Riddle U behind him in 12th. Riddle U brings it home 12th. 13th, SMX Ghost Eye. '14th will be FSM Gray. '15th will be ARC Samuel. They had some good battles today in these races. And he'll do silly stuff too. Flag, 16th. It has to go around for another lap. 17th as well, Ronaldo. We'll have to go around another lap. So just stay tuned. Post-race interviews coming up next here at MEA. Well, he has major engine damage. But your man up front, RZM Sean, was today's race winner. Just stay tuned. Once again, we will talk about post-race interviews here with the drivers coming up next. All right, so we're going to get these drivers in here. RZM Sean, Bobberts, and Delete. The other two, Allergirl and Remix, will be sent written, which is what we just did. We sent them written interview questions, so hopefully we can get in touch with them here momentarily. And then we will sign off, so just stay tuned. We'll talk to the drivers. And Delete. All right, so we should have everybody here. Here's your final results. And I'm trying to get this here. All right, so we're gonna get everybody involved. We just need Bobberts, I believe, and we'll be ready to go. And we're also getting the pictures of the final results. And we're good there. All right, so we just need the legendary but mythical ESV Bobberts to grace us with his presence wherever he is. I don't know where he went. He went offline. Maybe not getting to today's race. We'll we'll see here. We'll give him another couple minutes. Alright, so there's that. You know, let's bring Autumn in too. We'll get to talk to Autumn maybe here today. I don't know. We'll bring one of the random drivers in the top 10. Have an interview with them as well, since we're going to be down a couple of our interviewees. And, oh, she's in here as well. All right, so we are going to talk to 3 people here. I think Bobberts might have went either to watch a show, I don't know. All right, so for the 3 that are in the party, please just check off your audio inside the party so everyone can hear you. I know last week we had one that didn't come through. Hopefully that isn't the case here today. But we're going to start with Autumn here, finishing 7th overall in the race today. And Autumn, you came into the series as one of the rookies this season. First time in MEA, first time in the RSR Cup. Had a good run last week, had a lot of fun battling with Pudim late in the race in the rain, but today was a different story. It was drier conditions. The track pretty much the same from qualifying, and you were in the mix with a couple of the other drivers battling throughout the race. Diamond Man, Hurricane. It seemed like there was some momentum at times, and at other times it just kind of didn't go your way. But just take us through today's race, and did you have fun in those battles once again? And it looks like we might be having a technical issue, but I'll catch everybody up to date there. I don't know if your audio's checked off, or maybe we have to redo a Twitch thing here, but we had the same problem last week. But basically, I'm going to catch up to everybody here real quick. I'm very happy to be back in league racing. A lot more action on track this week than the previous races. I had a lot of fun with Diamond Man, battling in position. And I wanted to ask you about that, Autumn. That pit cycle, he, I believe, was in front of you during the pit cycle, and you were able to get out in front of him when you pitted. Was that correct? So what was the strategy there staying out, or do you know what had happened up to that point with Diamond Man? Was he dealing with traffic, or did you seem to be putting down some better lap times through that time period when he pitted earlier on? Yeah, definitely. And to catch everyone up to what she was saying there, she wasn't sure exactly the reason behind it, but stayed out for an extra lap. And as she came out, she ended up being a second in front, and was able to maintain that position. But if this situation continues with the audio, everyone, we'll fix it. But well, for next time. But yeah, Autumn, congratulations on 2 really good starts to your season. definitely probably a lot better than what you felt that you were going to do. I mean, there's so many different drivers in this race, but you've been kind of one of the highlights, qualifying inside the top 10. But overall, congratulations on a great race today, and we look very much forward to seeing you for the next few weeks in this series, and hopefully you'll come back for more down the line. All right, well, that was Trans Autumn, ladies and gentlemen, finishing 7th overall into today's race. 6th was Hurricane, but we're going to move up to AMS Delete now, and hopefully your audio will work. Do me a test real quick, Delete. Let's see if the audio even works.
Hello. Test.
Let's see. All right. I'm a little delayed with my phone, but we'll see. Yep, it works. Okay, so yeah, so we had the same problem last week. One other person wasn't me. Actually, Sean last week wasn't hurt, so who knows if Sean's going to be hurt again this week. But we'll move up to AMS Delete here. Finishing at 5th overall. Delete last week was probably one of the most boring races for you in quite some time, only because you just didn't have nobody to battle with. And tonight, it was kind of the same. Early in your race, you had to duke it out a little bit, but as the race progressed, you kind of were sitting by yourself, but Hurricane did everything in his power to catch up to you, and those last, 5-10 laps seemed to be very pivotal, and you were throwing blocks, you were trying to maintain position. Take us through your last lap, because we missed that when we were watching, the leaders come across the line, but it looked like he lost some ground on you. Take us through that.
Yeah, so start of the last lap, he was about 10 feet closer to me at the last corner than he had been any other lap. So I knew I had to dummy him on the first corner. So I held inside for as long as I could. Just before braking zone, I shifted to the left. Got on the brakes. He was still on the right, and he tried out braking me, but I was already on the limit, so he just went too deep in. Messed the corner up a little bit, and the gap just appeared from there, and he just couldn't catch it from there, really.
And Delete, it seemed like this was one of your better races here today, but you guys also were catching up to Remix. Did you think that you had an opportunity to, though you were defending, do you feel like you were possibly going to get an opportunity to battle for 4th there at the end?
I think about 8 laps from the end, I was really catching him, and I felt like if Hurricane hadn't caught me, and if I didn't have to look behind me, then I could have fought forward and got 4th. But with how the race went, I'm pretty happy with 5th. I messed up qualifying, so I'm pretty happy to have recovered up to where I got, to be honest.
Well, nonetheless, Delete, we know that it's good to see you back in the racing scene here at MEA. It's been quite some time since we've seen you here, but we're glad to have you back. It looks like you're having fun out there. Who knows? These next few weeks could be a bit of a challenge for anybody, but I know you're up for that challenge. But good job overall getting a top 5.
Yeah, cheers, mate. It's nice to be back as well. It's nice to be back in MEA and actually doing stuff again.
Well, we're glad to have you. Thanks for being here. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, that's AMS Delete. Great to have him here with us as always. So we'll move up the list. We're going to get to Remix. We did send him some interview questions. We'll see here. Where's his wonderful name? Oh, he's the Wolf. So we gave him a few different questions. We asked about how his race was today, if he had fun, take us through his race. He said, yeah, I enjoyed this one. I think letting Adler Girl through was the right decision. Otherwise, Delete and Hurricane would have caught me after the pits from battling with her. His next question was, did he expect to be as good? Did he feel like he was a little bit rusty early on? He said, I was more consistent than I expected and managed to hold Delete and Hurricane off for 4th. And his last question was, what do you look forward to and take away from today's race and the upcoming races? He says, yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season. He's just going to do his best as always and try to have fun. So Remix able to get the job done here today, 4th overall. Then we had ESV Bobberts, 3rd overall. Very frustrated ESV Bobberts, to say the least, I would say. He definitely showed his displeasure coming across the line. Won't be talking with us today. So Bobberts had an up and down race, started off really good right behind RZM Sean, but as the race progressed early on, lost ground on Sean and ended up battling with Adler Girl for the 2nd spot. Then ended up battling with Remix there at one point, but was able to get back on the throttle. Was starting to gain some ground, but as the pit cycling had commenced and finished, he lost more ground and Just wasn't able to get back up to the front. But third overall, another third place finish for ESV Bobberts. We'll see him try to rebound next week. As we move up the ranks, we also asked Adler Girl some questions. Let's see if she had answered those questions as well. She did. She just gave me basically a rundown of everything. She was like, as Remix had told us, Remix let me in front. I don't think I would have gotten this far if he hadn't done that. I would have had continued to fight with him. I'm super excited. I'm lost for words. Had a lot of fun today. So Adler Girl had a blast once again. Wasn't expecting a good result, or as good of a result as she got, second overall. But man, was she a rocket ship early on in that race. Definitely would have been interesting to see if she could have broke through early on the battle with Sean. But good result for her today. We'll see how she progresses as the series moves on. Second overall for Adler Girl IG. And then last but not least, your race winner, last week's Driver of the Day Award winner. I know we never posted it yet, but RZM Sean, 2 for 2 on the season. A little fortunate as Barcode wasn't here with us today. He was the pole sitter, and respectfully so, but nonetheless, that doesn't matter, because if you're here, that's all that matters. And Sean, your race was as clean as could be. Take us through it. Did you have any problems there? And what was your thoughts as Adler Girl was starting to creep up through the field and try to track you down?
Yeah, the goal was just to, keep it out of the gravel essentially. A lot of the times in the past I've maybe pushed too hard through a scary and spun it or something like that. So if I felt uncomfortable, I just pulled back the pace a little, make sure I had a good gap. Make sure I keep consistent lap times.
And Sean, last week was kind of a surprise for yourself. I know that you were kind of also lost for words in that situation, but this week it was very, very pretty much, it had to be, through that race when you got that nice of a lead, it's easy to be, easy-minded and not push as hard. But when someone like Adler Girl comes from behind and they start pushing like you did with Barcode last week, what's that mentality switch to? Does it change at all for you as a driver, or do you just say, okay, I can only control what I can control? What goes through your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. Adler had brilliant pace, and I was certainly aware of it. I just tried as much as I could to sort of push it in the back of my mind. I knew, she wasn't going to be able to pull a dive from that far back, and just if she did manage to make that gap up, I'll try and deal with it then.
Yeah, and as these weeks come down, you're now sitting nice in the points, still 3 races to go, but this time nobody has really missed anything. Barcode obviously was able to qualify for points, but what's that mentality looking like for you these next few weeks, and how do you feel based off of the race schedule? Do you feel strong at most places, or what's that mindset looking for?
I don't think there's anywhere I'm feeling particularly strong. There's a few places I think I'll struggle, but I've managed to overcome that in the past, so hopefully I can do that again. But yeah, the goal's always the same, just take it race by race and try and get the best results I can per race, and hopefully that ends in me taking another title in MEA.
Well, nonetheless, Sean, you've been really smooth all race long today. Last week was working it. Still plenty of racing to go. A lot can still happen. Things can go wrong, and we obviously don't want anything to happen to any of our competitors on race day. But, good luck to you on the remainder of the season. We know you're going to be back sharper than ever. And another championship in the looms. That's got to be a good thought process for you. You don't normally make a couple events at MEA, but this year you've made 3. What's the motive?
Just the racing in GTs was so good. I thought come back, try and get more. Really, I think this series is going to be just as good, hopefully. And so far it has been.
And one final question: do you feel that these races have really helped you as a driver overall? I know we talked about it back in the Manufacturers Challenge when you were really, you'd stick with Barcode for a hot minute, but then you'd get away. The GT series, completely different stories. Now you're here convincingly, currently in the points. How's that for driver development for you?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it helps me improve. It's a gradual thing. I don't think I'm going to be driving away from Barcode anytime soon, but with the caliber of drivers in these series, it just keeps you at the top of your game, and slowly you sort of pick up things where maybe you wouldn't have otherwise.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations on another win this series. A lot of races still left, a lot of points still on the line, and a lot of things that can still happen. But congratulations on the race win. We look forward to seeing you the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And that was RZM Sean, ladies and gentlemen, first overall, your race winner today here at Monza. And that's a wrap, and here are the final results on the screen. All 19 drivers, 2 of them didn't make the finish line in time with the timer at the end. That would have been Samuel and Ronaldo, but we did lose Savitar and Blade throughout the race. Everything looks correct on the screen, and once again, RZM Sean, your race winner. Adler second, third, ESV Bobberts, fourth, Remix, and fifth, AMS Delete. That's your top 5. I'm SSR Mayhem. Thank you for watching round number 2 of the MEA RSR Cup here at Monza, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place. Good night.